Hello YouTube. Alright, so we're finally gonna get to monkeying around with this truck here. We're finally gonna swap out motors and ESCs. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna go, and I'll stop every once in a while and let you guys see what's going on and go from there. Alright, so if you guys actually want to follow along with this, maybe you're working on a Glamis yourself, what we got to do to get to this motor here, we got to pop out that screw just to be safe. There's a pin on the bottom side of here. There's a pin. See if we can see that. Yeah, there it is. There's our pin. It's like a body clip. We got to take that off. Got to take the pin back here behind this spring. Got to take that pin out. And I believe there's some stuff on the underside that we have to do too to pop loose. So let's get to it. Alright, so I think I'm going to have to go a little further here. We've got there's a pin there, another body clip kind of a thing. Body pin, there's another pin there. There's the same deal on this side and some other ones. Alright, so I got the plastic shell off here. This was sort of kind of difficult. It always is sort of kind of difficult because you have to pull the whole assembly out this way and up and just kind of keep going out and up the whole way across. But there it is. Now that that's off, I think I'm also going to take the driver out, because if you guys look back here, that's the ESC, and with this driver figurine in front of it, you're not going to get any airflow through the ESC whatsoever. I had them off at one point, but I put them back on because I thought about selling it, but now I'm going to keep it because no one else wants it, and so I'm going to take it off so I can get some airflow. Alright, so I had to take the cover off of the receiver box here. It's real simple. It just has this little, there's just that little twist knob at the top, and all you do is twist that off. You get to all of this, and I took the wire out and pulled out the servo wire, or the I'm sorry, ESC wire. Now I'm going to put in this one. It is a sdewinder 3. So I took the receiver, the ESC out. It was there. It was bolted in. So I don't know how I'm going to secure it now. I don't even think that it was any sort of bracket that I could easily play with. I can't find the thing now. I literally just had it. I found it now. Yeah. So here's the bracket. And it actually looks like the ESC is part of it. So I might be zip tying this thing in there. I have been known to do that. And I have done it often. So that's all out. Now I'm thinking I was going to do this the extremely difficult way and pull the whole thing apart, take all of it out of there. But now I think all I'm going to do is pop this cover off. That one there, which I did need to do all these screws and whatnot anyways. And I think I'm just going to unscrew the motor and take it out and put the new one in. A little lesson for the new guys. Some of the older guys I know this for sure because they've learned it how I've learned it. But new guys, pay attention real quick. It's always important to do a test fit of your equipment. I'm test fitting this here, making sure that it works, making sure nothing's going to get in the road, making sure I like how everything is. I test fitted a zip tie to see how it's going to sit, if I even need a bigger zip tie or not. Make sure you test fit everything, because if I would have just went through, zip tied her all up, first I would have found out my zip tie was too short, which this one's not, this one's perfect. And then I could have found out that I didn't like the way it was because the motor leads are too short or something like that. Or they have to be ran a goofy way to get in there. I don't like the way they're bent, or something like that. So it's really important to always make sure you test fit everything. Make sure that is where you want it. But, so I put a different receiver in here. This is the one that was in it. This is some really goofy off-brand for some really terrible remote that takes 8 AA batteries. I went with the old trusty Spectrum, the DX2L. I love this thing. It's got all the controls that you would ever need on here, besides fancy like 4-wheel steering and whatnot. And so I'm going to run that one. Sidewinders in there, receivers all tucked away, all ran. Another good thing that I have here is, there it is there, yeah. It is pigtails. The reason I'm running the pigtails so that way if I have to change out the motor I don't have to tear this whole thing apart the entire time. But what I forgot is I forgot to put my cover in there, which this is a cover to try and help waterproof it a little bit, which I mean I've got waterproof coating on my receiver, so I don't know that I'll need it, but I might put it in there anyways. Alrighty, so I just realized I have a huge problem, like mega huge. So let me see if I can show you guys here. I don't know how much you can see, but you guys see that very steep angle, right? I mean, it doesn't look like it's terrible, but these are dog bones, so that is ridiculously terrible. If I try and rotate this, it'll lock up. Right there, it locks up. It locks up, and it's because it's that dog bone in there. And the issue is that now, right now, you see, maybe, I'm trying to push it up and I cannot get that to move. So I have to like unbind it and then I can move that. Okay, I know my hand's in the road, but it's hard to do this. Alright, there we go. See, now it unbound it. Now, the issue is that I have the shocks set up the way they are, in the positions they are, because this thing really squats back whenever it takes off and goes. It like really squats back. But the issue is if I start to jump this thing, when it is in the air, the tires are still going to rotate, and it's going to start binding up, and I'm going to start breaking parts. Once it hits the ground, it could get bound up, and it could stay solid and not compress like I was showing you earlier. So the trouble with that is that in the air it could snap, when it lands it could snap, and then it could just lock itself up and I couldn't do anything. I'd have to go get the truck wherever it was. So I have to adjust those down to a smaller hole, which, let's see here, yeah, there you go. You can see these are the holes on the back side of it. I'm just going to adjust to the middle hole and see if that helps anything, see if that does anything, and we'll go from there. Just keep trying stuff until I can get something to work, because I might not be a super huge fan of it, but I sure as heck don't like working on it, and the more I can make last longer, the better. Once you get her put back together enough to where you can run it, that's exactly what you do. You test it out, you see if it all works. I got a little bit of grass some places, you know. I didn't want to take the camera out there because this is, you know, like a $500, $600 DSLR and it's raining, and those don't generally mix. Oh look! There's a grasshopper or a cricket right there. Let's see if I can get a good shot of him. There he is. Uh-oh. There he is. Watch him. I think that's awesome. Anyways, squirrel moment. So, yep. Now I can actually put the side panels back together and put the rear end housing back together.